Howdy, friends and floorheads. It feels like it's been like 3 years since we've played episode two. If you're watching this video on demand, it's back to back, so you don't get it. But like for us, it's been like almost like 2 months. So I'm very happy for us to be back. We're playing Public Access by Jason Cordova. It is a card from Brindlewood game, and I'm going to do a little bit of a recap, which I don't normally do, but I think it'll help us get acclimated. So the four of you took the summer off and you came together in this eerie town of Deep Lake, where nostalgia seems to twist reality. You're on a quest to unravel the mystery of TV Odyssey, and it has plunged you back into this small town in Arizona where you spent part of your childhood. You hope to discover if the public access station is a collective lapse, a Mandela effect, or something more sinister, because it's gone. Nobody in Deep Lake speaks of it, and you all have vivid memories of this public access station. Now, your journey began with Casey, who was a local teen, and he urged you to uncover the chilling events that befell Elliot Rappaport and his family on Escondido Street. And that happened about a decade ago. Now, you went to the house that harbors secrets, and through clever decoding of cryptic clues, you harnessed the spectral energy of Elliot himself in his long abandoned bedroom. And if that didn't make things creepy enough, you went back that night to watch an Odyssey tape that was sent to you as tangible proof that this thing, this TV Odyssey, does exist. And at some point, it had to have been in Deoga County. Yet the mystery persists. The Rappaport family fate remains elusive, a puzzle begging to be solved. Casey Wilcox eagerly awaits the truth, and the ominous house on 18 Escondido Street beckons for its resolution, whether it's by its destruction or some ritualistic banishment of the dangers within. Now, it's a new day. You are all waking up back in the house that you have rented in Deep Lake. But I've got a nice little twist for you. One of you has a lunch date today with Cassandra March. Now, that's a familiar name to all of you. One of you was close friends with Cassie, but all of you remember what happened to her family back in 1981. In fact, it was late in the evening hours of July 4th, 1981. The police found a 10-year-old boy, Benjamin Castle, wandering the streets of Deep Lake alone, wearing a plastic cartoon dog mask and a blood-soaked pajama. They would later find the bodies of the Castle family, whose death had been so gruesomely violent that it was unimaginable that a child his age could possess the strength to execute all of them. Now, his baby sister, Cassandra March, was left untouched. When asked what happened, Benji allegedly said, "Officer Barker told me to." Now, Officer Barker was an anthropomorphic uniformed St. Bernard created by a local illustrator, Alan Gibson. And he was made for the Deoga County Sheriff's Department as part of an anti-crime campaign targeting kids. Eventually, Officer Barker was in demand in every school assembly in New Mexico, and by summer of 81, there was talk of taking that campaign nationwide. Not long after the murders, though, Officer Barker's campaign was abruptly canceled due to scandal. Alan Gibson, the illustrator, quietly retreated back into obscurity in Deep Lake, and Benji Castle, who spent the rest of his life under examination at a number of different state facilities. Now, the March family adopted Cassandra March. The father, Otis March, that adopted her was the one who found Benji. One of you grew up and was close friends with Cassie. Which one of you was it?
I'm going to say not Cody because I wasn't around at that point. It was just 2 small years for him. So
I think it was Richard.
I think it was Richard. Yeah, Richard was
Yeah.
there long enough, and yeah.
Okay, so Richard, you and Cassie were close friends. What did you two bond over?
Miss Pac-Man.
A love of Miss Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
Very
She kept
cool.
whooping my ass at that. Always had the high score.
She found out you were in town. She has never left, or at least is still here, and reached out to you and said, "Hey, let's meet for lunch at the diner." So you've got that set for this afternoon. You're welcome, obviously, to bring anybody you want, or just go by yourself. But she says she's got some things she wants to talk through with you.
Okay.
We've also got the mystery still sitting out there about the Rappaport family, the house on Escondido Street. The question that's still out there is what happened to the Rappaports? It's complexity 6. And the opportunity it unlocks, if you answer it, is it resolves the mystery by you being able to then tell Casey Wilcox what happened to Elliot and the family. And then, if you want to, you can then destroy the house or perform some sort of ritual to cleanse the house on Escondido Street. Right now, I think I've got you with how many clues do we have? Looks like we've got 1,
Around
2,
8.
3,
Eight.
4, 5, 6. I've got 7. Which one am I missing? I've gotten the threatening messages. Or no, clues. I read. This is the wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 9 for some reason. Sequence of numbers scrawled
Yep.
in an unusual place.
Yep.
Photo album.
Yep.
Titled Summer Camp '93. These are all have not been used yet.
Yep.
The smash. Oh, you lost the smashed mirror in an unusual place. That's what it was.
Mm.
Okay, I got you. So we're set. What are we going to do today?
I've got an appointment that I need to go to at some point this week, so I could do that while you're at your lunch date.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So you got an appointment. There is a lunch date. So
Richard's got a lunch date.
everybody getting back to the people they knew here, like, or are we here to solve some mystery? You know,
Mike's all business.
My appointment is funding my entire trip this summer, so it's rather important I go do that.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. And what about you?
Well, Mike, you
Except-
got to realize that you would not believe what happened to this old friend of mine that I just found out was still in town. Her family was brutally murdered, and maybe there's some sort of
that's Cassie March. I knew it
That's the
sounded
one.
familiar.
that's the one. Yeah, and you know it. You guys are more than welcome to tag along. I've known
Honestly,
her for a while.
that sounds like it would be relevant to our interests.
Possibly, you know, I'm there to see how
Sure.
she's doing and talk to her, but you know, there might be something worth digging into.
Yeah.
Is that the Kessel family massacre? Is that the
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
one. That's the
I
one.
that would make a great story on the blog. Like, do you mind if I tag along? I mean, this sounds. You know, I have nothing else to do. I won't go to the house without you anyhow. So
Okay.
if you don't mind, I would like to
My
join you.
my only ask is that we ask her if it could be used for your blog after she gets a chance to get to know you and what we're doing, and I think she has something to discuss with me anyway. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll tell you when the time is right, but for sure.
A lot of people in need of a Scooby-Doo gang in this town.
Cody, I see you posted your who you're going to call move.
Yeah. So this
What do we-
whole time, as everyone's been talking, I've had my headphones on. I've got the laptop in front of me. Maybe someone's visibly suggesting that they're about to leave or something. I take one headphone off. Where are you guys going? I still got a few minutes. I got to do some work on with my Ghost Bros.
So how long will it take? I don't know. When is the lunch date, Richard? Anyhow,
11:30.
I guess I guess we have time for your Ghost Bros then.
Perfect. And I've already got the thing posted. I've just click enter. I'm on the forums. I'm basically asking for missing people reports from Deep Lake, looking for the Rappaport's name to pop up and see if there's anything I could pop up. But basically, how this works, who you're going to call, is when I post a question about a Deep Lake mystery, I take a roll and maybe someone can find some info for me online.
All right. So you do it with presence, right? So let's go ahead
Yeah.
and let's do your who you're going to call. I'm going to make you do this at disadvantage, though. I'm going to invoke your I think they're on to me condition. So if you'll roll this at disadvantage for me.
All right. Presence. Nope. I just clicked presence. It's been so long, guys.
So do me a favor. Choose on the character sheet, you choose disadvantage as a toggle. You see it up above there.
It's above the basic moves.
There's like roll mode.
Oh, there it is. Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then give me a roll.
All right. Presence. Perfect.
Wow.
All right.
Maybe the
So-
internet went out on me.
No, so you get a bunch of posts coming back, and it's all focused like, are you seriously in Deep Lake right now? Like, have you seen, everything I hear about that place is like crazy as hell. Make sure you take a ton of pictures, and then you've got like people trolling you.
You get duck rolled.
Yeah. They're like, hey, click this link. It's got all the information you need, and it's Rickroll. Like people are just not being helpful whatsoever, unfortunately.
I'm
So
picturing
it sounds
4chan
to me
quality.
like Gerard's got an appointment, and it sounds like Cody, Mike, and Richard are gonna go meet with Casey. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Or Cassie, I
Yep.
mean, not Casey, Cassie. All right,
Yeah.
so let's start with as the three of you head over to the diner to meet with Cassandra. Let's first find out what the hell Gerard's got planned.
I just have to go to a funeral home or possibly a county like courthouse in the area to sign some documents. My nana had passed a few months ago and left me some money, even though I haven't talked to her in like 14 years. So I need to go like sign over some just sign some documents in order to get the inheritance.
Here's what I'm thinking: I'm thinking it might be like the local lawyer's office.
Yeah,
And
something
maybe
like
like the notary there. So yeah, we'll head there. Is there anything you're hoping to get from this other than money to stay here?
That's the main thing, but I thought I might, I don't know, ask some questions about like what happened to her and like what she was like.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. So let's cut to you coming to this, and it is, you got the address right, and you're like, all right, I'm going to go to this lawyer's office. I'm going to get these things in, and as you get there, you realize like this is just like somebody's house.
Yeah.
And there's like this cheapo sign by the front porch that says Billy Simmons Esquire, attorney
that
at
tracks.
law. And there's like two doors. There's like the front door on the far right, and then you could tell this other door that was put in to like the living room that wasn't there when the house was originally built, and it has an like a faded open sign in the window.
Okay. Yeah, I'll knock, I guess. So I just go in.
So
It says
you
open.
knock, and you see a woman in her early 50s. She kind of waves you in.
Hi. Yeah. I I forgot my own name. I'm Gerard Butler. Is my name, and I needed to come in and sign some stuff.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Butler. I remember that. Now she's in like she has a card table for a desk that's kind of like set up in this living room. She's watching Judge Wapner on the TV, and she goes behind, and there's all of these cardboard boxes with the separate cardboard lids, and she's kind of pushing them around. She goes, oh, I am so sorry about your loss, but yeah, in order for this will to be executed, we need you to sign these, and I'm a notary, so do you have any identification?
Yeah. I pull out my my Idaho license and hand it over. Sorry, what was your name?
You can call me Miss Simpson.
Ms. Simpson, hi. It's nice to meet you.
So she spends a really uncomfortable amount of time looking at your ID and looking at you, and looking at your ID and looking at you. And she goes, okay. And all right, do you have a social security card or something? I'm going to need another. You need 2 forms of ID for notary.
Right. I'm fishing around my pockets. I have my birth certificate.
So she takes that out, she unfolds it. She goes,
Yeah, social security card makes way more sense.
okay. All right. So yeah, here's all the papers. I just need you to go
Thank
ahead
you.
and sign those, please.
Yeah. So did you know Greta?
Greta?
Sorry, the deceased.
Oh, yeah. I
She
knew
was
her as
local.
yeah, I knew her as Gretchen.
Oh, yeah, she was, yeah.
And we honestly we're a little surprised that she had family.
Yeah.
She didn't seem like the type of person that would fall in love and have a family.
Well, I'm not
No
sure she did the
offense.
first part. From what I remember, which is hazy, but yeah. She what did she was she ill for long?
I don't want to speak ill bad of the dead,
Sure.
sir, but nobody really kept up with her. She was not a nice person.
Okay, at first I was gonna feel bad and not calling my grandma, but that also tracks with what I remember. I have a distinct memory of like the smell of chain smoking from whenever my parents dropped me off with her. We would play Old Maid for hours on end, like past the age where that was really any fun. But she was ruthless.
Now, she has this, and she slides you a check. After you do the notary, she goes, she did leave you. That's wow. You must have been a favorite of hers. That's a nice. That's a lot of digits.
Yeah, I'm not sure who else I would have been sharing it with, really. But yeah, I'm
Could you give me a
I'm
little?
grateful.
Give me a meddling move.
Sure. Make sure okay.
And I want this with. Ooh, what do I want this meddling move with? I think I want this meddling move with.
Presence.
No, I want it with sensitivity.
Oh, the worst option. Okay, sure.
Ew.
That's a success.
Super
Now
sensitive.
you have the option of
I was thinking about it.
flipping. If you want to mark a key,
Oh,
upgrade that
boy.
to the 12 plus.
Is that
Yeah,
the
I'll mark
tape?
a key.
12 plus?
Yeah, that's tape.
Oh,
That's a tape, baby. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So let's go
Especially
ahead
on
and
a
mark the key.
sensitivity move where there's spooky things happening.
Right. All right. So let's go ahead and mark that. So she slides you one of those legal envelopes that has the string that ties around the 2 circles, and it's got, you can see the chain of custody of where it went through the lawyer, and then it's signed off to her. She asks you to sign off as receiving this. You feel around it and you can feel there's 2 things inside of it. And she goes, now, if you get into any trouble, any speeding tickets or anything, you just come by here, and we can help you with any legal problems that you
Oh,
have.
that's good to know, actually. Yeah, thank you. I'm not that I'm planning on it, but yeah, I will remember that. Do you have a card? Can I have a card?
She shuffles around and moves some papers.
I mean, I
and
guess I
she
already have the address, but thank you.
she hands you the card. When are we going to open our envelope?
I'm gonna step outside, but I think I opened the door to leave, and she says, "Oh, actually, somebody else left something for you, for when you came and picked this up." And I'm gonna invoke my latchkey move. The truth is out there.
And what is that? Let's explain to everybody what it does.
When I first got it, it got me an Odyssey tape for free. But when I use it once per session, I get a useful. I basically have a benefactor that I don't know their identity, but they're leaving me useful stuff here and there. So once per session, they leave me something that functions as a clue, but isn't tied to a particular mystery.
So it's a letter. with no return address, addressed to you, to the law office as the address.
Oh,
And yeah, and Miss Simpson's a little confused. Like, I don't know why this was sent to you. It came the day before your aunt died, which I thought was weird.
of course it did.
But yeah, yeah, and she hands it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. All right. Step outside, and unless you want to cut.
No, you step
Okay.
outside and let's open up that
Yeah. So
let's
the
start
envelope
off
first.
with what you got from your aunt.
Okay.
So you open that, and
I'm
there's two
sorry, my
things in it.
aunt.
Or who is it? Your grandmother
Okay.
who died.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandmother died. I thought you
Yeah,
just
your grandmother.
accidentally
Your
revealed
aunt
the
doesn't feel well
identity
either,
of
just so
my.
you know. She's she's
Okay.
on her deathbed now.
Okay.
It's
Well,
canon.
she is a bitch too. So whatever. Um,
So you reach in there, and the first thing you pull out is a paperback book,
oh.
and it's a copy of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe,
Okay.
which
Oh God.
you just have no real connection to that whatsoever. But when you open it up, inside cover it says, "This was my in pencil dedication written on the inside cover." It says, "This was one of my all-time favorite books. I hope you enjoy it, Elliot."
Elliot.
So you can
Is
add
it?
that
Is
as a
it?
clue for the Rappaport
Is it
mystery.
signed? Is it from? Does it say who it's from?
It is not signed.
Oh. What on earth?
So a copy of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in an unusual place, and I think an envelope from the estate of
From
your
my dead
grandmother counts as an
grandmother.
unusual place. So you can mark that as a clue.
Okay. Yeah.
You of course also feel a piece of plastic casing in there, and you pull it out, and it is a
No.
purple Odyssey tape.
Grandma, what the fuck? What are you?
And you look at the spine instinctively, and you guys now have your second Odyssey tape. This is called Daily Affirmations with David Tilbert.
I wanted that one.
So you guys have a second Odyssey tape. Let's cut to the diner. Richard, Cody, and Mike, you come in. The waitress that served you when you met Mr. Little Casey Wilcox, she's there and recognizes you immediately, and she goes, yeah, Cassandra said you were going to be here. She's sitting right over there." And you look over and you see Cassandra, and Richard, it's like time never passed, because she's definitely older, right? She's not like this preteen girl that you grew up with, but everything else about her seems like almost like frozen in time. Because you look at her and she's got kind of a bob haircut, really bright red lipstick. Half of the bob haircut has been dyed red to match her lipstick. She's wearing a black t-shirt with a really obscure like local band uh, printed on it. It says the Psychic Narwhal Messiah, and it's got like this weird narwhal thing kind of airbrushed onto it. And has something new, which is like a choker tattoo that's all around her neck, and you can see her look at you, Richard, and she kind of like pieces together, adds 15 years to your face, and realizes it is you, and she flagged you over.
Uh, I walk up. Does she get up for a hug? If she
Well, she
does,
gets up and there's that awkward like, what do we do? She kind of shakes hands, kind of like she doesn't quite, you can tell physically she does not know what to do.
say, Cassie, I'm a hugger. Can I come in for a hug? I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, sure. And she kind of,
Big hug.
does the the light tap, but doesn't like avoids any other body contact, but makes
Gotcha.
the hug gesture
As a note,
around.
Richard gets the hint, so
Okay.
he's learned.
So you sit down, and you guys do some small talk, catching up. What have you been up to? She went to California for a little while, thought she was gonna, kind of make it in Hollywood, and then just moved back here. Um, and you know, she doesn't talk about her, her original Castle family, her birth family that was massacred by her brother. But she does, talk about uh, you know, the the family that adopted her. His her father and mother, Otis March and Deborah March, and she, speaks highly of them and that she's back living with them and just trying to kind of figure out what she's up to. But she said that she ran into Casey Wilcox, and Casey mentioned that you guys were back in town, and that's why she reached out. And she says to you, Richard, she goes, this is gonna sound really weird, but I heard you and your friends. It wasn't. Don't you have three people? Aren't there three friends?
Uh,
Are you
yeah,
missing somebody?
he should be joining us shortly. He had an appointment, but I'm going to get him in. I'll introduce him when he gets in.
So he says that you've been helping him trying to like figure out what happened to the Rappaports.
That's right. Yeah.
And that you guys are like wicked into like internet research and stuff like this. And I want to I want to tell you something, and hopefully you don't think it's too weird, but it's almost July 4th. And you know what happened, with my brother when I was a baby and stuff, and
Yeah.
um something's been freaking me out a little bit. Um there's been they never could explain why Benji did what he did, or even how Benji did what he did. And there's been like weird instances in town as we get closer to the 4th of just people like doing violent, crazy shit. Um, so like I heard last night that somebody set fire to the Big Sun convenience store. Like that thing is burned down today. That
Ooh.
just happened just last night. And um the coffee shop that I always go to, there's a barista there, Winnie, super nice girl. She kind of reminds me when I was her age a little bit. Day before yesterday, she completely vandalized my car. Like
Mm.
filled it with fireworks and poured gasoline in it until someone stopped her. And then the main thing that makes me think it's all kind of tied into what happened with my brother is, you know, the artist guy, right? Alan Gibson that drew the the Officer Barker thing, the mask that my brother
The
was
mask.
wearing when
Yeah.
yeah. So he's been living kind of like by himself here in Deep Lake with it with his son. His son's been taking care of him. Um, I saw in the paper how he was arrested for beating the hell out of his kid. And I never thought that my brother did what everybody said he did. I always felt like something either did it and made everybody think he did it, or they drove him to do it, or and as we're getting, to this anniversary, I don't it's weird. And I don't know if you and your friends here can help me with this, or can maybe look into it maybe when you get a chance.
Cassie, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we're here for. I think what you brought to the table gives us some guidance on where to look and to use our contacts. And I introduced Mike earlier. He's helping me out tremendously with this, with what we're here for. But um, Mike, do you want to? I'm kind of nodding to greenlight you to go ahead and make your pitch for your documentary.
Mike is basically already his clunky laptop on the table. Like you hear the sound of the keyboard, like putting all the details in, and at first moment he doesn't even notice. Like, huh? What did you say? Oh yeah, like mind if I like I'm putting the notes down for our investigation, and I also wanted to make the opportunity because guy has gotta make a living. Like, would you mind if I put like these details that you that we talked about on my blog, and I tell her the
Well,
WW something crazy is going on.
um,
That's
I'm not. I guess so. Like as long as it doesn't, you're not gonna don't post anything like embarrassing, okay? Like about me or my mom and my dad. Like
yeah, I will scramble the name so it will not
okay,
be the people that are here. Just it's for the sake of the story. So that's how I make living these days. But
all right. So for those of you taking notes, you have a new question. You now have two questions out there. This question is, who summoned the entity posing as Officer Barker? Was it intentional or accidental? It's complexity 2. And if you answer this question, it gives you the opportunity of another question. So there's a follow-up question that will be unlocked if you solve the message of who summoned the entity posing as Officer Barker. Let's go ahead and cut back to the 4 of you meeting back again at your summer home.
Gerard, I got you
Unless
a Philly cheesesteak from the diner. Sorry we missed you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, it took longer than I was anticipating. I after I picked it up, I just needed to sit somewhere for a while. I found like a little park near there, and actually I have I have a couple of things to share too.
Are you
Um,
positive? Did you get a positive result? Wait, what kind of
I got
appointment
some
did you go
things.
to?
I got. I was signing off on my my grandmother. You ass.
I'm so
Uh,
sorry. My
that's
mind
all
went way
right.
left.
Hey, if you don't want to share the the money that's funding this house for the summer, then fine. But no, she left me. First of all, she left me this book that I don't even I can't even wrap my brain around the how this got to her. So I just hand that off. I hand that to Cody.
I look at it and mumble to myself, "Oh, cool! You got a book. I got Rickrolled. Okay,
Yeah,
let's take a
open it.
look."
Open it. Open the front cover.
I do. Is that
Does it
where
say?
Elliot's name is right there?
Yeah, yeah. My grandma had that in a bag for me for when she passed.
Have you read this book?
Well, who cares if I've read the book?
I just wondered if it's any good, and I start flipping through.
Actually, that I read the first chapter just now. That's what I was doing.
Okay.
After I was sitting in a park and reading the first chapter of it, but it's more the, you know what? Whatever. I also got this, and I take out the tape. Is this more interesting?
Ooh, bingo.
My grandma had this too, so apparently she was into some weird stuff. Or
Here's
maybe
a
it was
book
just
for Elliot, and she has a freaking discovery tape. Like you
Yeah.
kept that as the last thing. Like what's next? What else do you have in
No.
that bag?
that was
Oh,
it from her, but I got
another tape.
something from somebody else too. I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, what's like? Okay, so
Should I open it now? Do you want to tell me what?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
yeah, so you open up that envelope, and inside it mysteriously is a postcard.
Who
And
puts a postcard in an envelope? Yeah, never mind.
the postcard, the front of it is like a touristy picture of the actual deep lake, right? The lake that
Okay.
that is kind of the tourist attraction here in Deep Lake. And in like 80s postcard hard to read font, it says, "Don't bother me, I'm diving in Deep Lake." And you flip it over and it says, "Don't go swimming," in pencil. So that is a clue that could be used for any mystery. And it's a "Don't go swimming" postcard. And on the front of it says, "Don't bother me, I'm diving deep in Deep Lake."
Okay. Let's process one thing at a time. I'm gonna put that away for later.
So
I don't know. I'm at a
So
loss
we
for the book. What do you think?
is there anything else strange with the book, or is it just the book, the story,
I
nothing
haven't read it, so I
else?
can't tell if it's like a doctored version of it or anything.
There is no
Does-
way you're getting a lion into a wardrobe, and I'm just flipping through.
Not a big fantasy fan, huh?
Cody, try your ghost detector.
Okay, I get out Tech Mobile, and it looks as busted as it just looks like it's falling apart in my hand. What would you like me to do with this exactly?
Oh, on my way back, I did pick up a whole like 40 pack of batteries for that thing. So since you keep burning through them, so here you
Awesome,
go.
thank you. And at that point, I start exchanging the batteries. I'm anticipating it not turning on after the last attempt. So
It does though, Cody. It turns on, and what's crazy is, and I don't know if it like had stored this from when you were in the house, or it's because of where you are and what you have right now, but it freaks the F out. So the signals that like ghosts are close and spooky whatever you think this thing is programmed to do, as soon as that battery gets last clicked in, it goes bleep bleep bleep, and it just dee, 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 for like a good like 20 seconds, and then it just goes black. It's still on, but it's not signaling anything.
My score.
Was that a boot sequence, or is that already some useful information that we could get from this?
that was the first time I've heard that noise from it. Could I add like a little nostalgia flair to the effect that
Please.
happened? So the score that pops up is a number that like I'll never forget. It was that same game that came home and Dad was disappointed. I'll never forget that score. And that was the score that stuck with
Oh,
me.
it's the score from that football
Ouch.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Ouch. You got that that Candyland marker?
Of course. Yeah, I got like 8 other things coming out of my pockets at this point. The other acidic batteries are coming out.
I would throw those actually I would throw those not in a landfill. Just I wouldn't carry them around. But
You
whatever.
never know. And anyway, I hand you the character.
Okay.
Don't
I
lose
don't know
that.
what
That was my favorite.
I don't know what I expect to happen. I awkwardly like take the book and the character and I'm just like touching them together. Like I feel stupid the second I'm doing it, but like I don't know. I put them both down.
Let's do a meddling move. Let's do a meddling move. This is definitely going to be a spooky one.
Like this is so dumb.
And
Indeed, it is.
and you kind of like bring them closer slowly, and there's an air of anticipation. Like I think the other 3 of them are like, oh, and everybody leans in, and then they touch.
Yeah.
And nothing happens.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected. Somebody
It's like
else
an old
somebody else go.
Point and
I'm
click
like-
game.
Any
where
other
you're
idea?
I'm
"Oh,
like
it's
sheepishly like moving aside now, like my turn's over and
And Mike will like try it as well. Like we'll try. Well, this is stupid. Like what are we doing here right now? What are we doing right here, right now?
I don't know.
with these
How
things?
did your meeting go?
It went perfect. It's like maybe even 2 to 3 articles. Like it will read as crazy. And yeah, maybe you're not that keen on my blog, right? Are you?
I mean, I don't read it, but that's good. I'm happy for you. I kind of meant how's Cassie doing, and what did she want?
Yes. Yeah, Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie's doing okay. She's worried that July 4th coming up is the same timing as her family's massacre,
Oh,
and
God,
there's
yeah.
some things leading up to that as well.
Right, because he was wandering around like during everyone was at fireworks, and then like,
right.
and then the dad found him on the street on the way home.
Yeah, and she kind of pointed out there's some key things happening recently that are leading up to what might be another big event that we might want to research or look into. This Alan Gibson, the cartoon artist from that dog mask that kid wore. He has
Oh,
he got arrested last night for beating his kids mercilessly, and so might be an angle worth trying to talk to him or just
There
steer
was the
clear of him.
fire
I
that
don't know.
happened yesterday, right? And what was the third thing? I
Fire at the
believe
Big Sun, and then
Convenience store fire, and then
Car.
the
vandalism.
barista that doused Cassie's car
Okay.
with gasoline and filled it with fireworks.
That's weird. Why would all those three things be related? I guess
It's
if,
a lot
if
of
stuff
shit
like that
happening at
doesn't
the
normally
same
happen,
time,
then-
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
So
suppose.
that's
Or people acting out of character. If it
Mhm.
if it was, I assume you told me the full story of the thing. If it's like the barista knows her, and yeah, okay. Well, yeah, it definitely sounds like the next thing that we should do. I'm wondering if we should try to figure out the Elliot thing first before we dive into something else.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
yeah. Maybe this might give us maybe some more straightforward answer. Maybe it's connected as well. Maybe all the things are connected to what's happening here. So if we
I mean, they
get
happened like
this,
10 years apart, I thought.
well,
But yeah, maybe.
they did though. But now everything is happening. Now the weird stuff is happening when we were at the San Candido. Now the craziest things and people are behaving like crazy. And suddenly we meet Cassandra March, and she tells us, "Oh well, we should investigate this." So maybe like before we do the San Candido thing or Escondido, sorry, then maybe we should sort this out first.
What do you two think?
I'm
I'm still on the book. The book is open. Is this your grandma's writing? With hope you enjoy, Elliot.
Yeah,
I
you
don't think
recognize
so.
it, Gerard. Actually, you do.
I
It is-
do.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
her
My grandma
handwriting.
left him this. Okay. I guess I do.
Maybe
Yeah,
we should go
I
back to
look
the
at, like-
house.
I'd
See
like
if
to
there's any
go.
other C.S. Lewis's. Right, it was C.S. Lewis.
Let's
Yeah.
let's
okay.
ask
Yeah.
let's ask Ben, or let's ask Elliot. See if we can find him again in that house.
Okay. Let's just
So
stop
we're
by the
gonna-
house quick and
All right, so let's cut to Escondido Street. You guys are outside. No signs of your sheriff. No sign of our head of the HOA. Seems pretty much just as you left it here mid-afternoon.
as we're going inside, it's mid-afternoon.
Mhm.
As we're going
Yeah.
inside, I'm looking around and I see scurrying off in the distance a black cat who is limping because one of its paws is like horribly mangled.
Not at all ominous.
Not
it kind of-
related to anything.
Is it okay if it hides under the house?
Yeah.
So as soon as it sees you, it scrambles and hides under the house.
Okay. Before we enter, we should agree on one thing at least. How do we
Okay.
deal with the cops? I mean, if the same stuff happens as last time, like we just go out and tell them, we're back and we shouldn't be here.
They know
Or-
we're here, and we technically they said that we could be here investigating, so we should be clear. But yeah, if you mean like what are you expecting to
But
happen?
let's make it simple. If things go south and there is
Sure.
some other person that starts bothering us, like do we spill the beans or spill the beans? Like do we tell
Be
them what we're
honest.
doing here or we just lie and say, we're here for my article or
I
whatever
would
the
say
goes.
sugarcoat the truth in a way that in a way that like rural suburban people would be able to appreciate. Like,
Okay,
oh,
okay.
we're writing an article.
Or worst case scenario, Mike and Cody hide in the basement again. No big deal. Gerard and
Yeah,
I'll handle it.
I mean, it did work.
I will be honest with one thing. Okay, let me put this straight. People are behaving like crazy, and I'm expecting that
Right.
some guy with Molotov cocktail throwing it inside if we don't tell him everything, or something
Okay.
like this might be happening. Maybe
Then-
I'm a bit too scared, but like,
No, it's a fair point if people are being weird, but let's just be on our toes to dodge the Molotov cocktails.
Nice.
Yeah.
My
let's
hand's on
go
the
in
hand.
and
I'm ready to turn it.
All right.
I'm right behind Cody. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So you enter back into Escondido Street, and we've got the TV room. So you guys have looked at the TV room. You've looked at the master bedroom, Elliot's room. Have you gone into the little girl's room yet? I don't think so. So there's still Abigail's room. The basement you guys have gone into. You guys checked out the backyard, which is where we met our sheriff deputy. Where are we headed?
I'd
There's
like
one room we haven't looked
to,
at.
so long as everyone else is already in the house at this point, I'd like to start reading out loud The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Once there were four children whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, and I go on and on and on. I'm reading it like I would read a book to a child going to bed.
And where are we going to do this?
I'm roaming the house as I'm doing
Okay.
this.
All right. So let's get. This is definitely going to be a sensitivity roll. So let me do a meddling move with sensitivity.
Normal.
No disadvantage will be nice.
Meddling move. With sensitivity. I'll get there.
All right. So you start walking around and kind of reading this out loud and reading it at a pace I'm imagining Cody, like a child could comprehend it. And as you walk past Elliot's room and you're reading this, something pulls at the book. And you're focused on reading it, you're kind of looking up and reading it kind of so you don't like walk into a wall, right? And as you look down, like the book pulls out of your hand and goes flying down the hallway into the kitchen. Nobody took it from you. Like something forcibly pulled the book from you and threw it from your hands into the kitchen. Now I give you a condition is where I was headed.
I was wondering.
So Kyle, how you feeling when that happens? Or Cody, how does that feel when suddenly that goes flying out of your hands?
I'm just reading it, Lion and the Witch, and then it's gone. I'm terrified.
That famous line.
My hands
from
are
Lion, the Witch, and the
immediately.
Wardrobe.
I know. I only found the first page. Okay.
Yeah.
I need you to go ahead, add to your collection of conditions, and let's put terrified
Okay.
as your now fifth condition.
Perfect.
So you hear the book kind of like slam into the door jamb of the kitchen and then bounce out of sight.
Yeah, I'm
Do we all
frozen
see
in
that?
fear, checking my hands out, making sure I don't have other paper cuts.
Mike runs after it, like just as it went to the kitchen, and Mike just goes right to the kitchen right after.
Cody, just to be clear, you did not throw that, did you?
This is how I was.
Okay.
My hands.
That's what I thought.
I'm locked in place. This is terrifying.
Cody, give me your Tecmo Bowl. Turn it on. See what happens.
I'm shaking. I'm having twice as much difficulty getting it out, and I try to fire it up.
You fire it up, and since the last time you turned it on, the losing team scored a field goal. They're up by 1 point.
One.
They were down by 2.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah,
I'll make sure to add you to the math RPG I'm doing later. All right, Mike. So you go running into the kitchen, right? And
Yeah.
Mike, you go running into the kitchen, and immediately you see the book, and the book bounced off of the door jamb back onto the counter, and it lands on top of one of those old style countertop answering machines. It's kind of like this brown answering machine. It's got the plastic grill at the top. That's the speaker. It's got like an old cassette tape in it, and the spine of the book has obviously hit play. And you hear a message, and it's a man saying, "Listen, Hugh Rappaport, enough is enough. We are not playing around anymore." And he then talks about one of these things. You tell me which one it is, Mike. He then talks about money that Hugh Rappaport, the father, owed, or is it about something, some sort of conflict at work, or is it about a marital affair, or is it something else? What is this voice angry about with Hugh?
Marital affair.
Enough is enough. If I see you anywhere near my wife, I'm going to fucking kill you. I know what you've been doing, and I will kill you. Click. So you guys have another clue, a threatening message left for Hugh Rappaport on the answering machine about a marital affair.
Well, Cody, you got a good throw. You found the net. You found the next message. Is the electricity on again? Did you turn that on, guys?
no.
And I just try to hit play again or rewind or something to try to do.
Oh, good.
That
Take the
is
tape.
strange. I'm taking the tape for definitely.
I can see that Cody is shaking, and I just like clasp his shoulder. Like, we're here with you, man. It's okay.
I'm not a quarterback.
We got you. Okay.
And Mike will return and give the book back to Cody. Here's your fairy tale thingy. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, and I take it. I'm still looking at it though. I still want to read it. Yeah.
So real quick for everybody watching, let's look at these clues. We've got a good number of them. And as a reminder, the question we're trying to answer is what happened to the Rappaports, and it's complexity 6, which means they're at a -6 roll for every clue that they can tie to answering that question that improves the roll, right? So if they were to tie 6 of these clues to their theory about the answer to that question, then they'd be rolling flat. If they can come up with 7 clues, they'd be at a +1. If they only come up with 5, they're at a -1 on the roll. So we've got a sequence of numbers scrawled in an unusual place. It was over by the TV on the VCR. We have the photo album about Summer Camp '93, and it's empty except for pictures of a dead animal in the back. The stash of comic books that were found in the basement that had what seemed like really cute, like lovey-dovey messages written in the margins. You guys found that at some point there was forcible entry into the house. Both of the front door windows as well as the door, some sort of crowbar was used to gain entry into the home. You found gardening tools that were caked with dirt and blood. You found that strange residue. I'm trying to remember where did you guys find that?
That was in the garden.
That was in the
Yeah,
garden as
on the
well.
on
That's
the
right.
rocks
Yeah,
that are now in Cody's pocket.
You found Sherry, the mother's dream journal, and in the dream journal, it ended with, "I finally have the answer. I know how to save my family. You must sleep in order to wake up." You have a phone number for a taxi cab, a copy of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the threatening answering machine message, and then now possibly this Deep Lake postcard that Gerard received from some unknown benefactor.
I have a sorry if you were you okay. I do have a working theory of how things started to go wrong here. If people want to hear it,
Yeah, go for it.
I wonder if there isn't something in the soil here, like a chemical or some maybe a pet cemetery curse. I don't know, but something that slowly was. At first, I thought maybe it was just the mother who was doing the gardening, but this answering machine message makes me think maybe it was affecting the father too, and the whatever it is was making them act out of character and do strange things. I wonder if ultimately they didn't either accidentally or under the influence of this thing harm one of the kids, harm Elliot, I assume, and then just vanish themselves. Like they got out of town before anyone could find out what happened. And Elliot's body is probably still here if this is all true, but I can go through the clues that I think point to this, but what do y'all think?
I'm smelling the rock. I don't know. I don't.
Stop smelling the rock.
I'm sorry.
Did you hear a word I just said?
I remain unconvinced.
I slapped it out. I try to slap it out of his hand. Maybe he's too fast for me.
All right, so Gerard, what we're thinking of doing is making our move to answer the question.
People
and
agree.
so
Yeah.
walk me through these clues.
Okay.
That you think answer this question.
Going in the same order. I don't know about the numbers. Or I mean, they could just have been carved there by one of them acting crazy. That's a convenient thing. But let's skip that. Summer of '93 photo album. I wonder if either the dead animal is dead from having consumed whatever is in the soil, or that was a sign that one of them was starting to act violently, where they killed the animal. Maybe one of the parents took a picture of it, or maybe Elliot took a picture of it as evidence to document what was happening.
Yeah, and let's
it's a whole photo.
Go ahead.
It's a whole photo album with just one picture, right? Maybe they
At the end,
pull
yeah.
out the other pictures for some
Yeah.
reason to hide
Yeah.
stuff, and they maybe left one dead animal because they were in a hurry when leaving.
And maybe you
Elliot
recognize
left
it
that
from the
for us.
backyard. That's a picture from the backyard, not from
Yeah.
the summer camp.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. So that puts us at one clue.
Okay, and then signs of forced entry. I wonder if like either the father or the mother was kicking the other one out, because there's multiple signs of forced entry at multiple points of entry. So this happened multiple times where they broke in through one or tried to, maybe failed and tried to break in through another place, or they were repeatedly kicked out and broke back in as they were starting to lose it.
So this was
gardening
done by
tools.
one of the parents that had been
or maybe they took
banished from the
turns of
house.
locking each other out, but somebody was getting kicked out and having to break back in is my theory.
I'm good with that. That's two.
Gardening tools caked with dirt and blood. That's how I think they were exposed to this substance, is by digging around in the dirt. Not sure what the blood is. That could be related to the accident or not accident that happened.
That's three.
Strange residue is what I'm thinking is responsible for the whole thing.
Cody keeps smelling. That's four.
Stop it.
Main premise.
A dream journal. I think as she was being affected, she was having strange dreams or hallucinations and writing them down, but then scratching them out. She didn't like what she was reading, and at the end, it kind of signifies that she's fully affected by whatever this is and is about to do something that she can't take back. The phone number on the death tarot card was a taxi cab company. I wonder if after whatever happened, they just packed up whatever could fit in a suitcase. Because like remember, like dinner is still on the table, so they just threw a set of clothes in a suitcase and called a taxi and just left.
Maybe this one was a specific taxi cab driver that would not tell on them.
Maybe.
Right? Because you could like look up any cab driver. Why would they have it written down? Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we could also have the name of the taxi cab company be like so-and-so taxi and vans. Right. So it, like specifically it could be like a large like we're gonna move the whole family out of this place.
Yeah. Don't know about the book for my grandma. That is so wild to me that I can't even process that. But I'm wondering if the message on the machine is just another indicator that the dad was also behaving differently.
Maybe
they-
it was the dad himself who called home and left the message to himself, being crazy from sniffing the stones.
I
You
feel
know?
like people would recognize his voice, but that's a really interesting thought.
People would, but would we recognize it?
Speaking of
Yeah.
himself in the third person and just
Yeah, maybe.
I like that.
that has us. So am I counting right? That's 6.
I
7.
wasn't counting.
That was 7.
That's 7. Okay, I'm good with all 7 of those.
Anyone
so
else
let me
wanna...
see. Well, let's talk about the working theory. The working theory is that there's something in the soil here on Escondido Street that was affecting the parents while they were gardening. We're seeing signs of the loss of sanity that was happening to one or both of them, and we think one of them did something very bad to Elliot, called the taxi cab company, and they all left. Does that all sound right?
That's what
If not Elliot, maybe the missing kid that no one's talking about.
Right. But nobody even remembers or knows
Right.
about this kid.
Yeah, I mean,
And we did also...
doesn't it make sense to bury it? To
Yeah, I guess.
bury that.
Then
How
why would,
about
That
Elliot's
about
ghost still be here?
not instead of burying it, putting it into the lake? Because you shouldn't go
Jesus.
swimming there, right?
Oh, you're trying to pull the postcard in.
Yeah.
Could be.
I'll accept it. I
Could
like
be.
that idea.
So we're thinking that for Elliot's body or for the stranger kid's body? Because we
could
we
work
did use
either. It could be Elliot's body, and he returned to the house because that's the place he knows. So
or that's where he
his
died.
Ghost, or that's where he died. Actually, yeah. Even though the body might be in the lake.
Yeah.
or Elliot's ghost is upset and is lingering because he's unresolved because of his brother disappearing. I don't know.
Yeah, I am insanely curious about the third child. We did use that clue for the Elliot mystery.
Yeah, but
So
it's
we
all
can't
still part of the
technically use it
canon,
here,
right?
but-
So you're not going to
yeah,
mechanically
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
mean anything, but it ties.
Yeah, it does.
So so that puts us at 8, 7, or 8 now. If we pull the
It
postcard,
should be
in. I'm good
8
with
if we use the postcard.
8
Okay,
with
so
postcard.
Are we ready to make the move?
Unless somebody has an idea about the comic books or the sequence of numbers.
No.
All right, so this will end up being an answer the question move, and it sounds to me like it's going to be at +2, right, with 8 clues, and we're going to roll that, and if it's successful, then that does answer our question, which is what happened to the Rappaports. If it doesn't, we lose these clues in trying to answer that question. I think we need 10 minutes to really, really think about this. So
Sure.
let's take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be right back. Well, I got to tell you, my latchkeys took full advantage of those 10 minutes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 clues that we've tied to answer this question, and potentially 2 more. So I think the first one I want to talk about is you guys want to try to tie the witch in the wardrobe to this answer. So walk me through that.
Yeah, so I'm ruminating on this, and like when I overheard the answering machine from the other room, something was off about it with me. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it just finally came to me, and I think that voice was my grandfather, the husband of my grandma that passed. So I'm wondering if Hugh wasn't getting close to old Gretchen, and that's why she left the book for Elliot, because she like knew that it was kind of a hard time in the family and people were acting weird, and she'd taken a liking to him more so than she ever did to me. Not that I'm stewing on that, but
Bitter
uh,
much?
no.
And the reason this answers the question is because it reinforces the death of a child, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of our working theory.
Yeah.
So I'm good with us tying that in. And then the other thing is something that Cody thought of doing. So Cody, what are you thinking of doing?
Yeah, so I'm kind of imagining everyone in the living room chatting about these clues, trying to put something together, and I just pick up the phone and look at that VCR and type in the numbers that are etched in the off
And
chance.
And now this is early 20,000s. So you don't have to put the area code in because it's a landline, right? So it turns out you realize that sequence of numbers is 7 numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You dial, ring, 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 ring. Just the fact that it's ringing. Who picks up?
Oh, don't give me choices here. I really wanted to be the kid that vanished. I would really love for that.
Hello?
Hi.
It's a little girl's voice.
And I'm hoping that freezes everyone else in the room hearing me say hi in the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all kind of.
Okay, so it's a little girl's voice. Is that what you use?
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm Cody. Can who am I speaking to?
I don't remember my name.
I don't remember your name.
It's dark.
Can you describe where you are?
It's really dark. My brother and my sister aren't even here. It's cold. It's really cold. And I
I'm,
think
like,
mom's
jamming.
mad. Mom's mad.
I'm like getting my ear, like getting all up in Cody's space,
Yeah,
like
at this
trying to
point it's
listen.
like pointed away from me. That's for everyone else.
Ask her what the last thing she remembers is or something.
Can you remember the last thing you saw? If it's so dark?
Before the lights went out.
Yeah.
Yeah, mommy and daddy were mad. Mommy was yelling at dad again. And yeah, and mommy said something. Yeah, mommy said, Mike, what did mom say to the dad?
Just, we have to go now.
So mom said to dad, like, we have to leave. And then I think I closed my eyes, and and that's why it's so click. Let's add that as a clue. We're going to use that towards the answer, which is our sequence of numbers.
Let's do
So we
that
have
and let's get the fuck out of here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus the book is 9 on a complexity 6. That puts us at +3. Who's going to make the move?
Who feels lucky?
Do you see how many conditions I have? Maybe I shouldn't be the one to roll.
Richard's volunteering to get the gas for the next option.
I can do it unless
Go
Mike
for it,
gets more
Gerard.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gerard,
Started
before
it,
you make the
you roll
move,
it.
I need to hear the answer. I know all the clues. I need the answer. So the four of you need to tell me what happened to the Rappaports.
Some substance in the soil started to affect them. And over time, it built up. They started getting more violent, having weird dreams, acting out of character. And then, presumably during dinner one night, or as they were setting the table or whatever, one of them just snapped, one of the parents, and hurt one of the children. I think Elliot, because I think the middle child was already gone at that point. But
I can't. You can't be. You think. I need to know what happened. So tell me you think it was Elliot.
I guess
Elliot?
Yeah.
We back.
Who
And
did
then-
it? The mother or the father?
I think the mother, because of her note in her journal, implying that she had made a decision to do something at some point.
What did she do?
Somebody like Elliot set the table wrong or something, and she just snapped, and maybe she didn't her intention wasn't to kill him, but she slapped him or shoved him or something, and he fell and hit his head on the ground, and or you know what, there's blood, I think. So maybe he fell on a knife.
Okay.
And it's something that they can clearly tell that they cannot help him, because if he just hit his head, then you call the ambulance. So he must
help
have
him out here, guys. What happened? How did she kill him? How did she kill Elliot?
I'd like to imagine something a little differently based on the sleeping dream journal.
Okay.
I like to imagine that she poisoned the food, and that's why she got upset, because no one was eating it. So she wanted them to eat it so that they would go to sleep.
Yes.
And it just happened to be circumstance and coincidence
Elliot was the only
that
good
Elliot
boy.
wasn't hungry. Or Elliot ate it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
and
the
everyone
only
else
good
didn't.
boy, and he ate. Oh, that's good. And
Well
he
done,
died.
Kyle.
Oh, that's good. And they took off. All right, I'm good. All right, +3. Answer the question.
Okay.
Oh God.
That's a pure success. So
Can this be pushed to critical for?
it
No,
cannot.
yeah.
You can't turn a key on it, unfortunately. So that's exactly what happened. Your opportunity is really twofold. One is a done deal. You now have what you need to tell Casey Wilcox what happened to his friend and what happened to that family. So that's done. You guys can do that at any point. And if you wish, you now have the opportunity either to destroy the house or perform some sort of ritual to banish the evil that resides here. And we're saying that evil is tied to the soil.
I don't see how destroying the house gets rid of what's in the soil, but I also don't know anything about rituals.
Well,
How do
this
we
house has
know
a
that we're
basement,
right?
so it will burn down and out. So it will reach 8 feet, 9 feet below the soil and burn outward.
Richard knows a lot about this. That's interesting. He just knew that off the top of his head.
How does Richard know that?
Richard actually realized that we weren't exiting when I was ready to do this, and so he had to turn off the gas because he already had it on just to start filling the room up with gas, with the natural gas.
Oh, that's what you meant by start the gas. Okay. How do we know that we're right?
You just know that's what all the clues have pieced together, and that's just how the system works, right? Because there's no canon answer. You guys
I was wondering if we get a vision or something. If we can.
Nothing is happening to reinforce that yet. I'm right. So far, you guys have said this is what's happened. We're going to at some point we're going to tell Casey Wilcox. What I need to know is about if you're going to take advantage of the second part of that opportunity. Then we're going to go back into the fiction.
So as far as
the police
doing
know
a
we're here.
ritual, yeah, so setting
I'm
the
for
house on
destroying
fire is
it.
fairly obvious. I was thinking of us baking something. If it is going to be so heavily food oriented, maybe there's vegetables in the soil that we could bake, but that's a stretch. That's the first thing that came to mind as far as a ritual goes.
A Leonardo-shaped cake.
Oh, the
Although
Ninja Turtle.
I don't know how to make a cake off the top of my head. So.
Yeah.
A Leonardo-shaped meatloaf.
You hear footsteps,
Oh fuck!
and they're coming from the stairs leading into that lead to the basement.
Double fuck.
You hear that the creaking. Remember the creaking steps? You hear those.
Mike will just look around if everybody from the group is in the same room, just sharing the looks with others, like what to do now.
I'm not moving.
Hello? Click, 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 click. I put the gas on, all 4 burners.
Maybe stop.
Okay.
Don't do the burners. Let's discuss before we blow up the house.
What are
You now
turning them off?
see light
Oh,
come from under the door to the basement.
Cody's having one of those "don't think of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man" moments, where he's thinking about all those Candyland characters and hoping to God they're not behind that door.
Mike,
Okay, I can't
open the
take it.
sliding glass door. Open the sliding glass door behind you. We're in the kitchen, right? With the door out to the backyard.
I can't take it. I run over and I open the door.
You open
You
the door.
open the door to the basement.
Yes. I can't take it anymore.
You open the door to the basement. You swing it open, and if you remember, at the base of the stair, at the landing where the stairs ended into the basement, there was an outlet for a naked light bulb, and it had a chain, right? But the chain was really short, like uncomfortably short, so a child could not reach it. And the light bulb was gone. It was just the outlet there. But it's lit, and it's lighting the bottom of that basement. And Gerard, you look up and you see there's no light bulb, but the light that's being cast from that empty light bulb socket is as if a light bulb is in there. And it's filling the entire stairwell down to the basement. I need a night move from you, Gerard.
That tracks.
When you see that, what are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your cool right now?
The gas is still on my mind, and I might get a whiff of it. So I'm like, there's an open spark down there. I know gas doesn't go down, but like, it's like that like intrusive thought. Like the gas is going to zoom down the stairs and hit this open electrical socket, and we're all going to blow the fuck up.
Believe it or not, it's worse than that. Not only,
Yeah.
I think, will the gas reach this open socket, which is somehow emanating light, but the second opportunity is going to get taken care of for you, which is destroying Escondido Street.
That's good.
And you're definitely going to be the number one suspects as the vandals that destroyed this house.
I know we're already dead at that point.
Okay, so I'm going to need this. It's going to be with sensitivity again.
Stop. No.
I know.
Come on, composure, surely.
You know what? Okay.
Well, it would be a +1 instead of a -1.
All right, so that'll put you at a 7.
8,
All right,
right?
put me at an 8.
Oh, that would put you at an 8. Okay. All right, we're good. I'm good with composure. Composure.
Well, that's not so bad.
How are you feeling though? Like, what is the feeling? So, like, you're standing there, you smell the gas. It doesn't seem to be sparking, right? So it hasn't lit things up, but you are standing at the top of the steps, and a light bulb that does not exist has lit its way down to the basement. This is after hearing the footsteps.
Yeah, I am relieved because I expected something horrible to be on the other side of this door. So I'm like, oh, thank God, it's just a haunted light. It's fine.
All right, I want you to add a condition.
Sure.
Irrational.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yep. All right. So you now hear the footsteps continuing into the basement. They sound like squeaky sneakers.
I'm looking over my shoulder, like seeing if people would like to follow me or even go first.
Nope.
I'm
Not
near
even
you,
close.
handing the comics to you.
What,
Good
what,
luck, sir.
what am I do with these?
I don't know. They were down there. Maybe they want them back. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
Am I turning off the gas or not?
Yes, please turn
No.
off the gas.
No. Keep it coming. We need to burn this place down.
I
turn off the gas
personally
for
think
now.
that blowing up the building should be a unanimous decision.
Well, I will
Can we make that
prepare for
decision
that
when we're
unanimous
outside?
decision.
If you
I
go
guess
to
I'm
the
a rational-
basement and we hear a scream and then no sound, I take it that you vote yes for blowing up the house.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I'm irrational now, so I guess I'll go down the stairs.
So you
Classic
head down the
horror movie idiot.
You head down the stairs, Gerald, and as you get closer to this outlet, this light socket with no light in it, you almost like rub your eyes because you almost feel like you can see the light bulb, kind of, right? It all the context clues are that there's a light bulb in that socket, but there isn't one. What catches your attention as you get down there, and this is your first time in the basement, is that accurate? Yeah.
Yes.
You see all of the boxes that Cody and Mike spent a lot of time with, but somebody or something has opened like 6 of the boxes, and they're full of huge bags of salt. And as you're standing there, one of the bags tears as if someone is like opening the side of the bag, but not like at the top of the bag. And you just see the salt spill out and land on a pile of soil.
You guys, Elliot wants us to salt the earth.
Salt the what now?
I don't know how else to explain it. But they've already got the salt, so maybe one of you could come down here and explain it better than I can.
I look at Richard and Mike. Normally I'd be down there, but I've terrified. So there's no way I'm headed down there.
There's nothing. It's fine. We're good.
Richard's working on a
Okay.
igniter. I'm not going down there. I've got the kitchen timer. I'm getting ready to roll something to see if I can make this igniter work. So
Demolition Man over here.
I got plan B. I work on
Okay,
arcades for a living. I know how to make a spark on a timer.
Somebody get down here.
Okay, I'm coming. And I will give one walkie-talkie to Cody, I presume.
Not me.
Or,
I
yeah.
mean, you're hearing me.
Yeah, well, you know how these things go. So,
Okay.
So is
I
it
have
fair-
it. I might as well use it.
Is it fair to say that we're going to have a bit of a montage of taking these bags of salt out of the basement and just spreading it all over the lawn of this house?
Yeah, I do that.
And that happens. It takes about an hour and a half of you guys just tearing open the salt and pouring it into the soil.
Nation's gonna be pissed.
One of you goes back into the kitchen to get a glass of water because this is exhausting. It's up and down the steps carrying these multiple pounds of salt and spreading it all over the place. Who goes into the kitchen for a glass of water?
Oh, Mike would. So I'm okay going.
Mike, you go in, you open up the cabinets, you pull out a glass, and it's like one of those glasses like you would get as part of like a promotion at McDonald's. And you kind of turn the water on and it goes and it just pours out of the sink, and you put the cup under the water, and you smell it first, right? It smells okay, and you just gulp that first glass of water, and you put it back under again, and you take another big gulp, and you kind of set the glass down. Just instinctively, you set it in the sink, like out of just training as in your whole life as a kid. And you see Officer Ruff on the glass. It's the cartoon of the dog mascot that was used to take a bite out of crime in that campaign. The same dog that was the mask that was worn by Benjamin. And as you turn around and just kind of, ooh, okay, and kind of let the glass go, you turn around and you see Elliot. And unlike when you saw him in his bedroom, he's not like this semi-transparent greenish hue. It's just Elliot.
Basically a human looking like.
And
Hi,
you
kid.
watch as
Yeah.
he walks over to the table. The one setting that didn't have any food on it. He picks up the plate, walks back into the kitchen, puts his plate in the sink next to your cup. He turns up and smiles at you, and then fades to nothing.
Like we'll say just, we're sorry, kid. We're sorry.
Let's cut to the dawn phase. 4 of you guys are back at the house.
Can I do
Summer
one thing
home.
really quick?
Of course you can.
Okay. Can I take? Is the meatloaf still good?
No, the food's all rotted and just.
There was one food that has it all like since rotted.
Oh yeah.
Okay, damn. I'm gonna take I had some crackers in my pocket or something from when I stopped, and I'm gonna sit on next to the porch and just sit cross-legged for a second, open them up, and just pss, 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 and throw them out a little bit, in case the cat is still under there. See if
Excellent. Does the cat come out?
I sure hope so. That's
So,
my.
You see the head of this black cat with the mauled paw kind of stick out from under the porch, and it looks at you, and it looks at the crackers that you threw there, and it looks back up at you, looks at the crackers, and just very tentatively goes to eat the crackers.
Okay. I dump the rest of them out next to me and get up and we can leave now.
All right. So during the dusk phase, I need to know what we're going to do in the night phase.
Odyssey tape. Odyssey tape.
We can do our
tape.
Odyssey tape. We can also do a nostalgia move. If any of you want to take advantage of a nostalgia move, we can do that along with an Odyssey tape. What do we want to do? And for those of you watching, the nostalgia move is where one of them can have kind of a one-on-one conversation with another latchkey. And it should be something nostalgic, something about the past, something tied to their childhood. And if they can tie it to a condition, it'll clear a condition.
For both of them or one of them?
For one of them, whoever's doing it.
I kind of like my conditions, but I'll help somebody else.
I want to. I'll do a nostalgic move to help Cody out, if that's possible.
That's up to Cody.
Yeah. What are we doing?
So I'm going to go up to Cody, and Cody, I come from an arcade store where I repair my own arcades. I see you with this Tecmo Bowl handheld. I can help fix it. Will you allow me to open it up and start messing with it and see if I can make it work again?
You can see the hesitation on his face. This is kind of a special edition. I don't want just. I don't know.
Dude, there's battery acid
Uh,
all over it.
You know how bad
Yeah,
battery acid is, not only for your
The res-
pockets and
The resale value.
clothing, but it's just going to eat
Yeah,
away at all
but
the
you
circuit
see-
boards.
You see the SE at the top there, the special edition. Where am I gonna what? And I eventually hand it over. And I'd say, I want you to be careful with this. This was a gift from my mom. I need you to make sure that this stays intact. And be mindful of that screw right there. I had to remove the one of the sound plugs from it. It was too loud at night. So
All right.
So as Richard starts to work on this and Cody's watching every move, like you're holding a child, right, and operating on one of his children. Cody, I'd like to understand more about the significance of this thing and more about the significance of this being a gift from your mom. Why was it so unusual for you to get a gift like this from your mother?
I wouldn't say it was unusual. It's just that this one just felt special because I couldn't. Yeah. There's a lot of directions I can go with this. I never felt like a failure in the game. I knew the zigzags, so I knew how to win. But whenever I saw those two random numbers hit the score, I always put the game down. So those are just the loose memories I've got attached to it. And it was given to me as just like my son likes video games and football, and this is good escapism for him. So yeah.
So I'm going to add a little bit of spice to this, and you can take it or throw it away.
Is he
And
telling
'cause
us all this?
this is a conversation between him and Richard. I don't know if he's going to share that with Richard or not. But as part of the nostalgia move, we need to learn more about Cody and more about Cody
Right.
as a kid. What if Cody? The reason this is a special edition is it was the second one you got. You were given one the Christmas before, and maybe Dad destroyed it because he's like,
Yep.
"Hey, you spend way too much time playing this bullshit football, not getting ready for real football." And what if your mom behind his back bought you another one the next year as a special edition? Do you like that?
No, that makes a lot of sense, and it makes sense why I would remove like one of the sound blasters on it to lower the volume of it.
Exactly.
So-
Oh, that's
Oh my god,
Okay.
you actually got me a
Oh.
little bit with that.
yeah. All right. So I cleared out two of the conditions that were tied to your little Tecmo Ghost thing. So now you have just paper cut. They're on to me and terrified.
It does say that both latchkeys can clear condition if they can tie.
Oh, all right. So Richard, if this is going to clear, they're on to me. How does that do that? What did it mean to you when your condition was there on to me?
Actually, part of the reason why I wanted to approach Cody, because I take sentimental value in electronics, and things are tied to all my best memories, and some of my worst memories are related to video games. And Richard, growing up in a broken home, he just disappeared from home to go at the arcade all day just to stay away. He would just hang out at the arcade, even if he didn't have any money to play, just to not be at home. And so he really tried to connect with Cody and realize what this meant to him, and try to show as much be as careful as possible with his prized possession, because I get it. I understand why. And so
So here's my
can I
question
add a
to you.
little bit?
Oh, please go ahead.
I'm just watching you do it, and like your delicacy with the electronics of like you open it up and you're like looking at it and you're able to to identify like what the issue is, and then like carefully clean off like some debris. And I'm just watching like, oh, you really do know your stuff regarding they're on to me. Like, no, you're legit.
You good with that?
I love it.
Let's clear it.
So that, I'm sorry, that got rid of which conditions for me?
The one tied to the power and does this thing actually work? So you should only
Okay.
be left with paper cut, they're on to me, and terrified.
Perfect.
Who wants to set the scene? I think I want Mike to. Mike, I want you to set the scene for the Odyssey tape.
You mean what's actually played, or how we start?
Nope.
Like,
I want to
saying
like
the-
before. I want you to set the scene, and I want to know who pulls the tape out. I want to know where everybody is. Who puts the tape in the VCR? Just kind of set the scene for me.
Yeah, okay, got it. So definitely, I believe Gerard never left the hold of the tape. He's so eager to play it, so
It's
he's the
in
one
my
like
hand all day.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I can imagine it. So we're in the main room where we watched last time, but everybody is super eager to play it, and Gerard doesn't waste any minute. Just basically runs to the VCR and just puts it in.
Like as soon as
And
the sun
just-
sets.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
all right, we figured out the
exactly,
stupid
like,
kid
just
thing. Let's
waits a
watch the
second.
tape.
And he's about to hit the play button. Just pauses a bit, looks at us, and hits play.
So you get
And
this very.
You can
this-
imagine, imagine everybody is like 1 meter away from the TV, not in the back of the room, but just like really close to the TV.
So you get kind of that cheap VCR 80s titles, right? That is slightly discolored because the tape has been warped, and it says daily affirmations with David Tilbert, episode 4. And it opens with a shot of David, and he's sitting on a couch in his living room. The room is tastefully decorated and has sand colored carpets and the exact same color wallpaper. And David is sitting there staring directly at the camera. And there's something about his smile that just makes it slightly too wide. And there's like a faint soundtrack playing. And what's crazy is it's not a soundtrack like that was layered into the sound track on the tape. It is literally something playing off camera. Like someone hit play on a tape recorder somewhere. And it's like this really soothing piano music. Mike, I need you to help me paint the scene. David is trying to convey a sense of financial success and easygoing positivity to his audience. How does his appearance reflect wanting to give that feeling? So when we look at David, what is clear that he's trying to give a sense of financial success and easygoingness to anybody watching?
You would do that by having those expensive trinkets, like expensive watch. He's in a suit, and maybe he overdoes it a little bit. Maybe it's he has watch on both of his hands. Maybe he has a strange necklace that's like over the thigh and in the suit. That's like, imagine almost. I'm thinking almost barrel necklace. Like really going overboard with all those small things. Maybe there's even a golden handkerchief from the pocket, from the breast pocket.
Like almost a lame, like reflective silk
Yeah.
in there. And David's there, and he's got a watch on each wrist. He's got this really inappropriate like double gold necklace around outside of his shirt and tie and his
Look
in
at
his
his
suit.
goober.
And DZ, he starts off by saying, you should feel good about yourself. You should have body positivity. And Gerard, what I need to know is, what is David's message to his audience?
What do you mean by what is his message? Like what he says
What's-
next?
Mm-hmm.
I think he said, or his message is, maybe not in these exact words, but you can have whatever you want. You just have to find whoever currently has it and take it. That easy. That's how it worked in caveman times, and that's how it'll work at the end of days.
And he goes into detail how about that's going to make you feel better about yourself by reclaiming what you deserve. And Richard, as you're watching this, it's almost kind of convincing a little bit. Like it's starting to like make sense a little bit to you. But something keeps leaking or crawling out of David's facial orifices, his mouth, his nostrils, his tear ducts, his ears. And it always takes him a few moments to realize it's happening. What is it? And what does David do whenever he finally notices it's happening?
I think it's blood. Blood is slowly coming out, and he's trying to keep it, or he doesn't quite notice that it's happening, but it's once he does, he instantly doesn't stop the recording, nothing. He just goes, motherfucker. He starts messing with his face. He's going back and forth. He's trying to figure this shit out. And oddly enough, he screams out, maybe a producer or someone, a producer, right? Somebody on the other side of the camera. And he screams out, stop this fucking recording. What the hell? I'm going to, wait a minute. Hold on. I had something.
God, the suspense.
I'm going to fuck you up like a ravenous sugar pig.
What?
So Cody, we
I'm using
see
it. I'm using it in real life.
as these affirmations are happening, we see David like keep pulling out this expensive handkerchief and keep wiping the blood, and what comes out of his ears, and then he breaks character and just loses his shit. And just over the time, we just see like the top of the collar of his jacket is now soaked in blood, and every time he stuffs the handkerchief back into his little breast pocket, now the breast pocket from inside is soaked through, and you can see the stain of the blood that's soaked through the inside of the pocket to the outside of the jacket. But what I need to know about from you, Cody, is David thinks the camera's off, but it's still recording. He's no longer in frame. We can't see him anymore, but we can hear him chastising somebody off screen. Not the producer that he was yelling at, somebody else. What is he saying?
Oh boy. Yeah, it's got to be something about like you said it wasn't my time yet. I still had 3 more years, and this isn't supposed to happen right now. And in between all this cursing, like it's the same sort of. I can't put that sort of flavor on it quite like Nick can, but but imagine that as though he's speaking to someone who may or may not have signed his soul over.
You told me I had more time. This was not supposed to be, just screaming that out loud, and then the tape ends.
Let's watch it again. Let's watch it. Rewind it. Let's watch it again. I want to.
The four of you end up going to bed at different times. The house is quiet. And inexplicably, the TV turns on with snow. And it says ABC 11 will be back on the air at 6 a.m. It's like this message that's on the TV. But then it flickers and cuts to a news broadcast. It says ABC 11 breaking news. And we see a woman anchor come on the screen. But we look at the date and it says March 13, 1997. This is a few years after all of you had already left. And she says, there was a tragedy today. 19 students at La Fresca Senior High climbed to the top of the 4-story building, the gymnasium, and they started reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And then they jumped. Every one of the kids just jumped. Let's go to credits. All right. So we've got a little bit of bookkeeping to do. I want to start off with XP. So at the beginning of the session, each of you should have marked off 3 or potentially 4 of your, what are they called again? I'm sorry.
Dawn questions.
Dawn questions, right? All of you marked answering a question. So you all get an XP for that, because you guys answered the question about the Rappaport house, and you've got a new question now hanging out there, complexity 2, about who summoned the officer. Did anybody have signal from the other side? And did we make it happen? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I definitely had get a signal from the other side, and during our tape, the Ravenous Sugar Pig was a Candyland character name in the Rappaport house.
So excellent.
Yeah, that was very well done, Nick. So go ahead and mark yourself an XP for that. Anybody else get a signal from the other side?
Oh yeah.
What'd you got, DZ?
Oh, the black cat that I saw with the messed up paw was a reference to the puppet from our first Dawn question.
Very nice.
The puppet that got its paw cut off was a cat.
Yep. Very well done. Well,
oh, you
done.
didn't even catch that?
I had no idea what the hell was going on with the black cat. I was just following you, but I love.
Oh, I got it immediately. I was like, "Oh, that's the first tape. That's the first tape."
Perfect use of signal from the other side. Anybody else have that and get it marked? All
Nope,
right.
I don't have the
Kyle, what
key.
did you mark for your Dawn questions?
I've got get a signal, but I don't feel like I pushed towards that. I just did the phone number and it just so happened to work out that way. But the other one is be vulnerable with someone, which I feel like I actually did accomplish this time around.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm gonna mark out for one for that and cut loose for once, which nope, not this time, but that's all right.
All right. How about you, Vasilev? Did you hit any of your Dawn questions?
No. I had cut loose for once, and the other was deliver a chilling monologue. I was trying to put myself in a challenge a little bit, but maybe there will be time next time.
Yeah, with the monologue one, it serves to like kind of think of something you could do ahead of time. That helps me.
Yeah.
And the thing about this is like it's this, these are just prompts to help push you. If they happen, great. If they don't, they don't. Right. This is not the same type of progression driven RPG like other ones are. How about you, Nick? Did you hit any of your other Dawn questions?
Yeah, so I had share a good memory and reconnect with Deep Lake, and I don't think I should get credit for both because they were kind of vaguely touched on, and they can kind of be related with the scene with Cassie, and describing how I know her, but reconnecting with her and then the memory of the Pac-Man and the I felt like they're both maybe half points that equal to one. If that's fair.
I think it's 2 points. No, mark them both. They're yours.
Okay.
Yep. All right. How about you, DZ?
Yeah, I had reconnect with Deep Lake, which I had my appointment to talk about my Nana.
Perfect.
And then cut loose for once. I tried to hit at a couple times. First was reading a book in the park, but then I think the better one was trying to feed the cat before we left. Just like sitting down and relaxing, and then trying to separate myself from what was happening at the moment. I guess that's more like relaxing and cutting loose aren't exactly the same thing. So
yeah, and I'm tying I really think the cat's captured with the signal from the other side. So
yeah.
All right. So out of curiosity, has anybody marked enough XP for an advancement?
I do.
Okay,
that's assuming that's 3 for me then.
Well, and resolve a mystery, right? It's one more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
yeah.
we'll take. You guys have time to think about that. We'll open episode 4 by talking about what your advancements are, so you guys can make the decision how you want to do the advancement, and then we'll reveal to everybody at the beginning of episode 4 how you do that. We had one key turned, I think, right? On this episode. So I think DZ, you owe us a key. So what key did you turn?
I turned a flashback to when you experienced. Oh wait, no, I meant to change. Oh yeah, okay, a flashback to the moment when you realized childhood wasn't forever. And I turned this when I was picking up, or I was doing the meddling move at the office of the lawyer, and I was talking about like going to my grandma's house to like for her to watch me while my parents were out and playing Old Maid with her. So I think it got me on that train of thought. And I'm like remembering this one time specifically that she was like merciless at this. If she saw that I had the Old Maid, if I took it from her and I didn't shuffle my hand well enough, she knew where it was. She was not going to take it. She was not pulling any punches. And like there was a moment when I like realized what she was doing, and I'm like, you nasty. You this stupid, it doesn't matter who, like even as a child I'm like, it doesn't matter who wins Old Maid, it's pure chance. So why does winning matter so much to you? And I saw this like distinctive vision of becoming an adult and caring about winning so much against a child who like you're just trying to have fun with, especially like your grandchild who like you're trying to form memories with them, but you can't put winning aside for 1 second to just be like, I drew the Old Maid. Darn. I guess you win. Like she couldn't do that for me. And it's like, okay.
That's my Uncle Jim, like literally my mom's brother.
Oh, we know those people.
Yeah. He would not. And if I ever beat him in a game, like he would play like Nintendo with me. And I have a vivid memory of like me beating him at Nintendo Golf, like old Mario Golf or whatever. And he kept making me play. And I wanted to go to bed. Like it was like 2 a.m. and I'm like 8 years old. And I'm like, dude. And no, I must have been older than that because it was the original Nintendo, so I had to have been like 13. And I remember like we were at his house, and like eventually I'm like, I just like purposely paid 18 holes of bad golf so I could just go to goddamn bed because he wouldn't let me go to bed. That's so crazy. All
Wow,
right,
I
so that takes care of our
think
keys. How many keys
I
do you
just
have
turned
left?
a key for Craig, I think.
Yeah, really.
You're
Speaking of
asking me?
keys, I owe you guys a new key because you started a new mystery. Hold on one second. Let me give that to you real quick. You all have a new key to add to your sheet. It's the key of obedience. And if you turn this key, you narrate a flashback to when you caved to peer pressure against your better judgment and what was the fallout. And we can do this offline. I can give you that to you guys in the chat so you have it. But you have a new key. Now, keep in mind, for those of you watching, as they turn these keys, they're getting benefits from them. But if they ever run out of keys, they are no longer in the game. That's the quote unquote character death, right? As if you run out of keys. All right, last but not least, rewards and then stars and wishes. So when you solve the big mystery, which in this case, the mystery of Escondido Street, you solved, you get a reward. I have got 5 rewards. I'd like each of you to roll a d6. Whoever rolls the highest, we'll go in order based on how you roll. Actually, let's do 2d6 so it's even better. So we get a clear rank here.
Who rolled 2 sixes? Got
Oh, wow. Look at DZ with a 12.
2d6.
What? Why didn't mine do that?
Slash
Mine only
R
did
space
one.
2d6.
All right. So
There it goes.
in
Okay.
order, we have got DZ, then Vaslav, then Cody, and then Nick. All right. So here's the rewards. DZ, you get your pick. You can have whoops, wrong mystery. You can have, there's 4 of them. One of them can be Elliot Rappaport becomes a reoccurring side character. He can only be found at 18 Escondido Street unless the house is destroyed, at which point he will attach to the house on Rodenbecker, but that's not the case. So he's going to be tied to Escondido. This reward can only be chosen if Elliot is befriended by answering his question, which I'm saying he was befriended. So that's option 1 that one of you can take. Casey Wilcox becomes a reoccurring side character. You get 1 extra clue on the meddling move when you consult him about Deep Lake's when young people matter. So anything dealing with young people, if you consult Casey and you get a meddling move, you get an extra clue. You can add Bill Handsome's cell phone number to your corner of the house.
Hanscom.
Hanscom, sorry. And the last option is a souvenir from the investigation. Another latchkey will tell you what it is, and you get to add it to your corner of your house. So which one do you want, DZ, for your reward?
Oh, that souvenir is so tempting, but I simply must take Bill Hanscom's phone number.
All right. So add to your corner of your house Bill Hanscom's cell phone number. Now, remember, these items in the corner of your house, you can check them to gain advantage to your rolls. All right. So
phone number.
Next is Vaslav. Vaslav, do you want Elliot Rappaport as a reoccurring side character? Do you want Casey Wilcox available to you as an extra clue for a meddling move? Or do you want a souvenir?
The souvenir sounds so good, but I like the Casey. I think that's interesting.
That makes sense.
So just mark on your character sheet, just a reminder for yourself that if you ever consult Casey Wilcox and get a meddling move as a result, and it has to deal with young people in the town, that you will get 2 clues on that meddling move instead of just 1. Nice. All right, Kyle, do you want Elliot Rappaport or do you want a souvenir?
I mean, considering all the random junk I've been collecting, I feel like I'm a souvenir guy. So
okay.
I think we go that route.
So what's a souvenir from that mystery that we're going to give Cody to put in his corner of the house? Who has ideas?
I mean, you already have the game piece.
I'm happy with the game piece being in your corner of the house. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. No,
all right,
sounds
beautiful.
great.
Candyland game piece. No, I like that. That makes a ton of sense. And then, Nick, you have got Elliot Rappaport as a recurring side character. He can be found in the house, and he's a potential resource for you.
Found in my house or his house?
His house. So
So
you
glad
could
we
go-
didn't ignite it.
So if you go to Escondido Street,
I just go
yeah,
somewhere else.
if you'd have burned it down, he'd be at the at the one in Ronbecker, which is like,
Elliot.
all right, beautiful. So those are your rewards. So a quick reminder on the mystery, the current mystery that's hanging out there. We have just one right now. And that current mystery is who summoned the entity posing as Officer Barker? And was it intentional or accidental? And it's complexity 2. Stars and Wishes, starting with you, Voslev. Stars and Wishes for episode 4 or 3. Sorry.
Stars, I like the start with the Rickroll and reoccurrence that Cody was complaining. You got a book, right? And I just got Rickrolled. I'm a simple man, but I like these jokes when characters are being salty of things not going well for them. That's
Yeah.
just
It just works for you.
Yeah, it's just love it.
And Wishes, what are you hoping for in the coming episodes?
I wish for, and I don't know if it's a thing, but I think it is. I wish for more stuff to be leaking out of the tapes. Since I'm considering like, okay, we saw 2 tapes, maybe more things will be seeping to our reality, and it's getting more and more messy.
And to kind of give you a little bit behind the scenes of what's happening mechanically here, as you have now unlocked layer 2 of the mystery. So I have certain things that I'm going to be feeding and incorporating into our play as a result of that. And then when we get to layer 3, so we just keep getting closer and closer and closer. Eventually, when you get enough Odyssey tapes, we're going to do the final mystery. And the question is going to be is what happened to TV Odyssey? And that'll be our finale. That'll be how we finish. Kyle, Stars, what worked?
I mean, I love the DZ scene about with him getting the money. I loved that Nick was trying to burn everything down. Like, where was that coming from? But ultimately, I think I'm going to boil it down to the really micro scene that Nick and I had right at the end there, where he's willing to give me a hand. And I think that was probably the first bonding moment that Cody has had with any of these characters. So,
and credit to you, Nick, because what I loved about it is it totally fit into your character with your history of fixing the arcade machines and your nostalgia about that. It was really well done.
Yeah, that's great.
Oddly enough, I think Kyle, you're the one that put a soldering kit in my corner of the house.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there going, I want to use this soldering kit to fix this thing, and it's just like it worked out. And so yeah,
It's like it was written.
And what are you wishing for in the coming episodes, Kyle? What do you want more of, or what hasn't happened that you'd like to see?
I mean, the obvious answer is like we play more often, right? That would be nice. Like 2 months is way too long.
Yeah, and remind me, we've got our next one scheduled for next month, right? We have playing in
14.
December. Yeah, so not quite as long as before.
Still too long though.
I hear you.
It's a wish that's directed towards myself a little bit. I think that this system really promotes really on the fly improv sort of things, and I'm a little rusty when it comes to that. So I want to just improve that. When you call out things like, what's he saying as he's bleeding to death? You know, like you as a designer, I'm usually looking at like the third or fourth thing as I figure out. But yeah, I just want to get to the first one right away and find something neat to do.
So
just get more comfortable in that space.
And 2 things I'll throw at you on that one, Kyle. And this is really for everybody. One is when I prompt you like that, like I did it to Voslev and I did it to you with the phone call. Just because I say, who answers the phone, Cody. Obviously, we all want to give Cody a chance to answer that, but don't be afraid to table source it, right? So it's okay, even though I prompt one of you, for all of us to help, but I do want us to give the person prompted a chance, right? So I don't want everybody stepping over each other. And the second part you kind of hinted at, Kyle, is just freaking say something. Freaking say something, and we'll all react to it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you almost have to put your overthinking brain away a little bit. So I know exactly what you're saying. Yep.
Those like just say it moments often are like the really like keystone like moments and stuff like this too. So
All right, stars and wishes, Nick.
Stars. Kyle coming out, connecting that number on top of that freaking VCR that we couldn't figure out what to link it to, and just let's dial the number. It's like, what? That's,
7 numbers. We're all
how did we
idiots.
miss that? I know. How did we miss that? And so I just thought that was great. And then
So real quick though, but here's what's key: is it wasn't 7 numbers. DZ.
Yeah, I know.
But what's cool? That's what's cool about the clue system, right? Is that as you use the clue, you can add layers to that clue, which is what I love. Like,
yeah, I'm saying our characters are idiots for not seeing that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the players aren't idiots. But,
yeah. Well.
Hey. But yeah, I thought that was brilliant. And then that led to what I think was a shining moment for everybody to really add to the answering the question there. You know, kudos to DZ for kicking it off and starting this story that got everybody's wheels spinning. And we all had great input to make it work. And I just love that moment where we were all active trying to answer that question. So
yeah, I'm a huge fan of this mystery system. We've been using it in Brindlewood Bay. We're now using it in public access. I think with players that are willing to lean into it, like it's really cool. And we start building and creating a pretty incredible world. And as a result, a story. Like, I think what we came up with is pretty badass for that Rappaport thing. I really do. What do you wish for?
I want to know what the other things are. I just want to know what other people have come up with. Looking at like,
I would love, yeah. So there's, and I want you to wait till we're done playing, but
yeah,
there's some actual plays I'll point you to, and you can see how other people have played it, even with the same clues. It's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, Nick, wishes.
I keep forgetting about them, but our corners of the house, we have the ability to use those and try to incorporate those into story and get advantages on our rolls.
Yep.
I'd like to try to figure out a way of doing that more. And I mean, I didn't roll a whole lot of dice this round, so it didn't really matter, but it'd be great to try to incorporate that and see where the story takes us with all the random crap that we gave each other.
Yeah, and I think the only way you're going to be able to do that is to have it in front of you. So my recommendation there is, like, every time you can tell I'm about to have you do a roll, bring up your character sheet so you're staring at those things and see if you can't figure out how you can leverage them, because it's use it or lose it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's right next to the moves, so
good point.
Yep.
All right, DZ, stars and wishes.
Oh, like I said it during credits, but this session was 5-star for me. I
Why?
loved the whole thing. I don't know. Like, everybody came out on point with their character moments, and there was no like, okay, who's going to talk next, which can happen sometimes, but we were like, I don't know, that like we did a great like job with the improv. Like, somebody picks up right at the second that there's a little too much silence, and that just keeps everything flowing and moving, and everybody was in character. And I don't know, it's full of like great moments. If I've had to call it one thing, again, Richard absolutely killing it with his prompt during the Odyssey tape of taking it to a level I did not expect, where he's just screaming obscenities and like breaking character completely. Like, it's again the perfect escalation of what I expected.
Well, and the whole concept of like some pact that was made, like this was not supposed to happen yet. I was like, oh, that's really good.
In my head, I'm like, he's talking to a doctor. Why is there a doctor there during the filming of this? And it wasn't until Kyle came in and expanded on it that I'm like, oh, this isn't that. This is something else. So yeah, I love the tapes. They're absolutely wonderful.
Wishes?
How's tomorrow sound for everybody? I feel like $1 million right now.
So, that makes me happy. I have a lot of fun. This is long overdue.
Yeah. So like, as far as an actual thing, actually, never mind. There's no actual thing. Forget it.
Well, let's just for kicks and giggles, stay on with me after we end the stream, and let's just look at calendars just for shits and giggles.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you, Craig.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.